Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Suds News. We are here live from both our houses, I should say. And we are live here. Today is Monday, November 4th, 2024. If you're watching from the United States, it is the day before Election Day. So without getting into any politics, just want to say get out and vote tomorrow. And if you've used the early voting system, that's on you. But if you have to wait till Election Day, get out there and vote tomorrow, because either way, if you don't vote, you can't complain when something happens and something doesn't go your way.
Right. And bring snacks, water, go to the bathroom before you go. Lines are going to be long.
Exactly. I know me, I'm going to be going right at 6 a.m. when polls open in Connecticut tomorrow. And anyways, I am ready, and we've got a lot to go over for General Hospital. Before we do, just want to let everybody know, hey, Ann, welcome. Good evening to you as well. We've got a lot to go over today. But before we do, let's get into our announcements. We are officially a WWE Shop affiliate, which is a Fanatics experience. So go over to suds-media.com/wrestling merch. That gives you our affiliate link in that URL, and whatever you want to buy, whether it's something for WrestleMania, something for Braun Breaker, or the departing Baron Corbin. Either way, we get commission. It helps the show as well. We are working on a number of new projects and a number of stuff coming up in the near future. We are also an affiliate of Podpage, which does our official website, suds-media.com. So go over to podpage.com/suds, and that gives us a commission as well. Go over and check out our Patreon, patreon.com/suds and squared circle, and as well as buymeacoffee.com/suds media. Those do help us out. Because of the simple fact that you could help us out. You could donate to us. You could sign up for our Patreon and help us out that way. Anybody who does sign up for Patreon, you go ahead and anybody that does go ahead and sign up for our Patreon gets any of our pre-recorded episodes early and ad-free, as well as anything that we do goes right there. I want to say hello to the chat. Hey, Ann. Hey, Donna. Hey, David. Hi, Bananas. Welcome. And yes, Donna, you are right. 19 years ago, Laura Ray was introduced as Carly during the train wreck. I do remember that because that's when Molly was born, too, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So Molly is technically 19 years old, but of course, Sora's took care of that. Yeah. As you can tell with the title of this episode, Time of Death, 5:48 p.m. I had to get it on the trolling, and
you couldn't let me have all the fun.
No, I couldn't.
Hashtag 548.
Yes, and here's the deal. We did. We'll get into it later. We did see the death of character Sam McCall. Kelly Monaco has been moved to the alumni section of General Hospital's roster, and she's no longer on the show nor under contract. Halloween was her last day, and think about it. She actually got 2 extra days of airtime being in a hospital bed.
But that was really funny that she was just laying there for those 2 days.
Yep.
I mean, it's not a secret that I'm not a character of the fan of Sam. I have no problem with Kelly Monaco, but that's not easy to do.
You're right.
I mean, it's not. I mean, even it's easier to pretend to be in a coma because coma patients are at least breathing and can move.
You're exactly right. Yeah.
So
welcome to everybody who is joining us on the various Twitter feeds, whether it's through Chair Shot Sports or Jeff Skywalker or Big Mike from the Run-In Podcast. Thank you all for joining us, and also on the different YouTube channels and Facebook. Welcome. Let's share and like. Get everybody there. Join the chat. Hi, Steve. Welcome to the chat as well. We're just getting started. We're just getting in everything. Mark it on your calendars. Less than 2 weeks from today, Saturday, November 16th to Sunday, November 17th. we are doing a 24-hour telethon, charity telethon to benefit the organization Samantha's Friends. So definitely tune into all these networks that you're watching it on and help us out. More details will be announced as follows. We have gotten confirmation of a number of people that are going to help us, podcasters and some celebrity interviews as well. And those will all be coming out once I iron out the details. But hi, Julia. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the welcome to Suds News. That's right. So Angela's going to go ahead and post her buy me a coffee in the chat. I'll go ahead and post our buy me a coffee and Patreon in the chat as well, just to help us out. Go over to these links, and that'll definitely help us out as well.
Yes.
Let's see. So before we get into the elephant in the room, what were some of your favorite parts of this week?
I mean, I thought, I mean, the acting has been top notch. So aside from Sam, I mean,
Yes.
I've loved the Michael and Willow stuff.
Yep.
I thought it was interesting how Drew refused to give in to the blackmail.
Agreed.
I loved Cody.
Oh, I did too.
You know, I mean, I'm not sure Drew deserved that from Cody, but it was such a human thing.
Oh, I loved it.
It was
I
so
thought
great.
he deserved it.
Yeah. Yeah. And the engagement between Sam and Dante was very, very sweet.
Yes.
I liked them as a couple, so you know. Yeah, so there were I mean, the easier thing would be what I didn't like, and quite frankly,
There wasn't much.
right, exactly. It's crazy.
Although going into today's episode, I did not like the kiss between Robert and Holly.
See, I did because while I like Diane and Robert, Holly's his soulmate. She just is. She's his true love, and that's just, you know, and it's soapy.
It is. Exactly.
You know? And that's the thing with these two is that, no matter what shitty things they do to each other, they're
Yeah. You're right. They are. They're meant for each other. They've been in each other's orbits and lives. Now they have a child together. So it just happens that I'm a huge fan of Robert and Diane, but I agree that this makes a lot of sense with what's going to be coming down the pike and the previews that we've been seeing.
The promo this week.
Oh, the promo this week was fantastic.
Fire! I watched it probably. I mean, last week's was really good too, but I was like, "Oh my god, baby, we are back!"
Oh yeah, you are absolutely right.
So good.
Yes, and I'm enjoying it. The writing has been fantastic, and okay. So before we get into anything of note of General Hospital, there's something that I do have to bring up. I'm sure you've seen it and you have posted about it on Twix. Us Weekly, basically, they were very disrespectful to Days of Our Lives and Day of Days in general, as Day of Days happened this week at Peacock, the Peacock Center in Hollywood, which is the annual, basically Days Con, so to speak, where people go to meet the cast. They had a really big memorial to Bill Hayes,
Drake
as well as
Bill Hayes. Yep.
And Us Weekly, the gall, and they call themselves, they're literally a dirt sheet. They call themselves journalists, and I'll let you get into it.
I'm telling you, Vinny, this screams someone, and this isn't me bashing the actress, but this screams Kelly Monaco's PR team to me.
Yep.
That they, you know what I mean? That they reached out to us to do something like this. Because, I mean, the whole phrasing of it, they're like, and they made it, in the article, they made it sound like it was the Days event was secondary, that they were
Yeah,
there for Kelly Monaco and also doing this on the side, which
yeah,
was ridiculous because Kelly Monaco had no part of that
no,
until Us Weekly was asking those actors. And that
yeah.
was all of it. That was the end of it. And it was just Kelly Monaco's firing sends shockwaves. I mean, it was disgusting.
But again, why bring it up at Day of Days when Kelly Monaco had absolutely nothing to do with Days of Our Lives
Mhm.
outside of having friends that perhaps work there?
Well, I think that this is why I think it was her PR team. I think that they're trying to, maybe get her another job, which I understand. And there's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that. But
you don't do it at the
I
expense
just,
of two people that actually did
exactly.
pass away.
And not just that, those fans and those actors were there for Days of Our Lives.
Yes.
They just got announced that they were renewed for another season. It's a
Yep.
very big event
Hmm.
for Days and their fans.
Yes.
It wasn't the Emmys. That was everybody. It was about Days of Our Lives. And even if those men hadn't passed,
Right.
this would have been a disgusting thing to do.
Yes.
It was just
Um,
more disgusting because on top of it.
yeah.
But it was
And
hijacking an event that had nothing to do with her.
no, you're absolutely right. And I know Matt and Kat from the 10th floor were there live, as
Mhm.
well as Kim, my oh, there's Matt right there. Um,
Mhm.
Not to mention they're the only soap to have an event at all. You're absolutely right. I
Mhm.
mean, GH does do Graceland, but it's not something where everybody has to be at and so forth.
And it's also not free. Day of Days is
Right,
free for the Days fans.
correct. Um,
So,
so we know Matt and Kat were there live, and I'm sure
mhm.
they'll tell you all about it on Days for Dummies next week, which
Mhm.
happens at what time do they go on in the? I know
9
it's on
a.m.
the West
Pacific
Coast.
time, 12 p.m. Eastern time, which is where I
Okay.
am. So it's for me,
Yep.
it's the beginning of my afternoon. For Matt and Kat, it's their morning.
Okay. And then
So,
Kim from Dockside of the Bay was there as well, so I'll get a full report this week on Dockside of the Bay. So,
mhm.
um, we there were people represented at Day of Days.
Well,
Um,
another thing that was disgusting is that Buzzworthy Radio, who's pretty much just soaps,
mhm.
weren't given press credentials for this event.
Wow.
But there was Us Weekly. It was, sorry. You got
That
me on a
sounds to
tangent.
me like
You
it
got me
was a
going.
clout thing because
Yeah.
Us Weekly is a bigger publication, so they figured, well, what the hell? Let's get these
Mhm.
guys in, and the disrespect they showed to Days by doing that is ridiculous,
Horrible.
and that paints all media in a bad light. So
It
for the
does.
people, for the people that are going just for soaps or just for Days,
Mhm.
that really want to be there,
Mhm.
it paints it in a bad light. All right.
Yeah.
Moving on, I want to thank the 131 people that are already tuning in. We're going to get,
Wow.
yep. Let's keep sharing and share alike. We're
Yeah.
going to go ahead and keep on um, getting on to General Hospital. Hi,
Mhm.
Nathan. Welcome. And Shapiro, welcome to the chat as well. And I see JJ up there as well. So we do have a lively chat as always. Thank you
Mhm.
so much for tuning in. Definitely go ahead and hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe and
Yeah.
click that notifications bell because that helps us out. And then react to the chat as well.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get into the all the tea, as the kids say.
Oh, it's so
Um, so what was Wally's response? I did not see what Wally's response was.
Wally's thing was, yeah, she's great, but this is what happens with soap actors. It's not a big deal. You move on.
Yeah. And you know what?
Because he's been fired.
The
And yeah.
backlash from Days fans, um, the backlash from
Yeah.
Days fans has been out of this world going off.
Mhm.
So, I think the hashtag Team Kelly crew has met their
Yeah.
match because
Yeah.
we've seen a lot of people go off on Kelly.
And my thing is that, the Kelly fans are refusing, not all, of course. That's
Right,
always the caveat. Not all, I know.
right.
But a lot of them are pushing back at the Days fans. Like the Days fans are in the wrong for being upset that their event was hijacked.
Wow.
And I'm just like, ugh, not a good look. You're not really helping things here.
No,
And that's not going to make people want Kelly to go to Days of Our Lives.
exactly. Yeah.
So, they're really just
But see, here's the thing. They're also the ones calling to fire Frank and want to get Kelly back, and that's
yeah,
going to be the kind of stuff that's not going to want anybody to take her back. So if she can't get a job, all she has to do is thank her so-called fans. Um,
yeah,
that's the sad part about
right.
anything. Um, so where do you want to begin? Should we, begin right off the jump with Sam's death?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's the biggest thing and had the most fallout.
Yeah, it
You know
did.
what I mean?
And
Because
and and a lot,
yeah,
and it's still having a fallout.
hmm
Um,
yeah,
and so she made it through surgery.
right.
She made it through the surgery,
hmm
and Lulu made it through the surgery as well. So the
Yes.
surgery was a success on both sides. And then Dante Dante goes ahead and proposes because
hmm
he loves Sam and he's so thankful that she saved Rocco's mom and this and that.
Yes. And it was
He,
very, very sweet. And,
yep,
it was nice that Sante fans got that, but it's also a little bittersweet for them
it is.
that, but
Yeah, exactly. Um, and then Alexis comes in and she's excited. She's showing off
hmm
her ring. No, I'm not talking to you, Amazon device. Um, but Nancy Lee Grant's character, that's what I'll start referring to her
Oh,
as.
okay. Yeah.
Um,
Or Sam's
so
mom.
yeah, Sam's mom comes in, they're talking, she's showing off the ring and everything.
hmm
And they're all excited, and then all of a sudden, Sam just starts coding. She passes out, and
hmm
the buzzers are going off, the alarms are going off, and
Yeah.
she's gone within a matter of minutes.
Yes.
Elizabeth comes in, Portia comes in, Lucas comes in, and
Yeah.
it was so heartbreaking to watch.
Oh, poor Lucas. And as
Yeah,
much as I now love the time 5:48 and I'm having a lot of fun with it on Twitter,
yeah.
um I feel real bad for Lucas cuz he thinks this is his fault. I'm pretty sure we're going to find out that she was killed.
Oh yeah, I have a
I'm
feeling that.
pretty sure that, there was I think the Cyrus thing and we'll get flashbacks or something like that.
Mhm.
Um and yeah.
I
So,
agree.
yes, if anybody who is not a Sam fan or has a sense of humor as a Sam fan, check out my Twitter at 5:48 p.m. Eastern time every day. There's a tweet. I'm not going
um,
to do it forever, but I'm having some fun with it because I'm a petty bitch.
but see, here's
It's
the
my
problem:
brand.
is that I like the character of Sam, and it was sad to see her go. I will admit that. But the way
Yeah.
that the Kelly Monaco, the chemo
Yeah.
fandom has blown this out of proportion, like
It's right.
ABC owes them something, owes
hmm
Kelly something.
And not only that, that everybody who didn't agree with that was evil. That was the thing, is that I
Yeah,
was apathetic about Kelly Monaco getting fired. I didn't care either way. When Becky Hurst was fired in 2011, 2010, I was thrilled because I hated Liz with such a passion. Again, it had nothing to do with Becky, but I cheered it on because I hated Elizabeth. And when you're asking that the character you hate is gone from the show or gets killed off, you're obviously that includes the actor getting fired. That's how it goes.
right.
And but when it's not, I'm wishing for somebody to lose their job. That's not it. It's character based.
Hmm.
I was whatever. It wasn't that I was thrilled about I didn't care one way or another.
Yeah. No, you're
And
right.
then her fans changed that for me.
And that's just it, is that the fandom made it so impossible to open up Twitter.
Mhm.
They were hijacking other people's posts that
Right.
had Frank Valentini goes to post the promos for the next week or the promo for that day's show that had nothing to do with it, and for the past month had been hijacking.
No, and they also did everybody's birthday posts
Yep.
and all of that's an anniversary and it's just disgusting. I'm like, this
It
is
is.
not you're not helping yourself here.
No.
You're not helping yourself. But, it is what it is. And, they're going to do what they're going to do. Um, and now their thing is they're trying to come up with ways that GH could bring her back. Well, yeah, GH could bring her back a million ways, but they're not going to.
Right.
And I mean, at this point, I've said it before, they're lucky that Frank Valentini didn't have her killed by getting run over by a mobile billboard or a billboard falling on her or something like that. You know what I mean? They really are. And I think, yeah, we call him the Frank turn, Donna. It's not really Frank, it's an intern, it's Frank turn. Yeah. My thing is, I think that they gave her a great send off.
I thought
and
so
it's still
too.
happening.
Yeah. She died a hero. It's affecting everybody in Port Charles. Like the scenes with Nancy Lee Grahn over the past 2 days, 3 days.
When Nancy,
wow.
when she climbed into bed with Sam.
Yeah.
That one, like, I mean, she's who I was looking forward to the most. Is I knew that she was going to really eat with this, and she is. And then her stuff today with the girl, with Molly and Christina, trying to hold it together, but she just couldn't. And oh God, yeah. She has been absolutely phenomenal. I saw somebody earlier saying that they're not sure who will get the the lead actress nomination for GH. It's probably Nancy Lee Grahn submits in supporting.
Yeah.
That's her category. Laura Wright will submit in lead for Bobby's death.
Probably, you're right.
And Nancy Lee Grahn will have this, and she'll probably submit in supporting because that's her category.
Yeah.
But yeah,
oh my God,
oh my God. And ironically, the one I was most underwhelmed by was Burton. He did great, but I have seen him really, really bring it, and this just wasn't it. I mean, I hated Jason and Robin, but his stuff mourning her, that moved me. This one just didn't. It was, and it's not about hating Jason and Sam or anything like that. That's not. There was nothing in there that hurt my Jarly heart. It wasn't like he was, she's the love of my life. I've loved no other, it wasn't that. And I really expected that he was going to be the one next to Nancy Lee Grahn, but he didn't bring it for me. I mean, he was good. It just wasn't what I know he can do.
See, like I enjoyed his scene, and I felt like he did something, and even what Jason expressed was a little out of character, almost like, and I understand when he went in there, when Jason went into the room with Sam, and they're showing the flashbacks of the J-Sam romance and everything, and he's saying how, I can't believe that you're dead and I'm still here, or something to that effect.
Right. Yeah.
That's like him showing vulnerability, which I like in the character of Jason.
Absolutely.
The fact that he had to tell Scout and Danny at Bobby's, and he was trying to find the words.
I loved him calling Carly for help, because that was,
he needed to.
Of course he would call Carly for help. Who else would he call?
And for all the Carly haters out there, if you're ever in that situation, you call your best friend, no matter who it is,
right?
Whether it's another, for a guy, whether it's a female or whatever. I know my best friend, and if I was in that situation, I would call her. And
yes, Sonny is his best friend too, but he also knows that Dante has a thing right now, and Dante is Sonny's son. So Sonny shouldn't have been who he called either. No. And him and Drew, just right, wrong, whatever, they're not close, and now was not going to be the time to bridge that gap enough for the kids.
Right.
Carly was the call to make, without a doubt.
Exactly. And, you could put logic behind it, regardless of the hate that people feel towards Carly.
Yes. I loved The montage cracked me up a little bit because it was the exact same one they showed in 2017, except adding on their breakup scenes.
Yeah,
So that cracked me up a little bit. But it was, Jason and they played their song.
yeah,
Jason and Sam fans got their song, and for the first time since 2020, there was physical contact between the two of them when he gave her a kiss on the forehead.
yeah,
So I thought they gave Jason and Sam fans a nice send off. The thing is that they were not in love when Sam died.
right.
They had both moved on, but they still had shared the life they shared. They
Agreed.
still had their child. I mean, when my mother died, my father and my mother were only married for a couple years when I was very, very young.
Hmm.
And when she died, he had been married to somebody else for a good 15, 20 years at that point. And he was devastated by my mother's death.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, that, he sobbed at her casket. And I was wondering if my stepmother was weirded out by it, but she's like, "No, of course not. Look, that was his wife. You're his child. That's your mother." No.
Sure.
And that's really how I took it.
Jeez, my dad ever died, my mother would dance on his grave.
Oh, believe me, when my ex dies, I'm gonna be all over it. But my father, it was,
Yeah. No, I
yeah,
get it.
you know,
Um,
and
Anne says,
that's what I saw with Jason.
so I just put up a actually comment. This is something new I'm
Mhm.
trying out. Anne says, I enjoyed Steve Byrne. Dominic Zambronia was the one who came off flat to me. I think he's just in shock.
Exactly. I love what Dom has done so far. And when
Yeah,
he told Sonny, I mean, God, I
agreed.
hate Sonny, but when he told Sonny, I don't want to live without her,
Yeah,
that was like, oh my God. Yeah.
yeah. That like just the way that everything was going down
Mhm.
um with the
Yeah.
way that he and Rocco were just fantastic in those scenes. I agree with Shapira. Drew was the only one I felt didn't bring it. Um, I felt that Drew's scenes or Drew could have been a lot better in terms of it. Like I know that he's in the middle of his campaign and he's got his
Mhm.
own garbage going on, which we'll get to later. Um, but I feel like either Drew is heading for a mental breakdown because of
Mhm.
everything, or he's
Yeah.
just not there.
I have a feeling that we may see more from Drew.
Like
I
later
have
on,
a feeling that Willow's going to be the one that he breaks down with.
okay, I can understand that.
I think that Willow's going to be the one he breaks down with. And I also want to say, I know a lot of people were really annoyed. I saw a lot of people bashing him for talking to Carly instead of running to his daughter. But
Yeah,
he was processing that just like, Jason found out she was dead and he sat, he was with Alexis and then he talked to Sam talked to Liz and then he went in and talked to Sam before he went to the kids.
because he sent
It
the
was the
kids
same
away.
thing.
He wanted to process everything. He wanted to get the information
Exactly.
before um
Yeah.
before going to the to
Right.
talk to the kids, which I get. And the fact is that
Hmm.
Carly told Drew
Right.
Scout was with Danny. They're with Jason, but
Right.
I have to tell you this.
Right.
And
And
I
that
felt
was
that
the
was
right
well done.
move. That was the right
Right,
move. You don't tell Drew in front of Scout.
right, right.
I've also seen people today saying that it should be Alexis with Danny today. Who watched Alexis and thought she could comfort a child today?
Yeah, no, no, absolutely not.
I mean, and that's not a slam on Alexis. She lost her daughter.
Yeah, she had to be with Christina and
Yeah,
Molly.
and this is, out of there's just something I think different about losing a child.
Agreed.
Even, over losing a spouse, over losing a parent, over, it's against the natural order kind of thing.
Yeah,
It just is in ways that other things aren't. And yeah, I really I've loved it. I've loved it, and I think there's gonna be more great stuff with Dominic.
Yep.
The Rocco stuff has been really good with Laura. He out of all the kids, he's the best.
Oh yeah.
And then Scout.
Yep.
Scout's been
I
really
felt
good too.
so bad for Scout when she
Yeah.
said, but the part was gonna grow back,
Yeah, right. Yeah,
you
she
know?
just doesn't yeah, it's and yeah, she's been playing it really, really well. Um, I like the Danny actor, and he's good,
Yes.
but I think that, he's struggling with this, but he's also at an age group where I think it's kinda hard to realistically portray, I mean, he's at that middle school, early high it's the Rocco actor's older, the Scout actress is much younger,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think that, yeah, yeah.
No, and I agree with Yvonne here saying, welcome Yvonne, it's your first time chatting, so welcome.
Mhm.
My thought was Drew knew Jason would be bringing Danny and Scout back to the Quartermains. So,
Yes,
I mean, that also
absolutely.
makes sense as well. Um, I didn't
Mhm.
mind the way that happened.
Yeah.
And just, I liked, here's the deal, because no matter what, it's still a TV show. You still have to show the characters in situations that are generally outside of their character. So
Mhm.
when you see Jason trying to comfort two children, that's something that you
Yeah,
would never ever think that would ever happen because
right.
Jason isn't that type of person. Um,
Mhm.
so the fact that he had to be there and telling Scout and Danny, and I really liked that Danny didn't break down. I like Danny being the big brother.
Mhm.
He felt like he had to be there to be strong for Scout. But then today on today's episode, when Scout wasn't around, he ran right to Jason when Jason came in.
Now, Matt brought up a good point that I hadn't thought about, but it makes sense to me. I think Asher is, and I also think that it's Danny trying to be like his father too, because 'cause they've
Yeah.
already kinda laid the groundwork for that anyway,
Yep.
as well. So that actually really makes sense.
By
Yeah.
the way, folks, go ahead and follow these people as we're showing their comments.
Mhm.
Um, Follow them on YouTube. You could follow Matt on 10th Floor GH because they do their shows every Sunday and Thursday. Um, and you're right. I agree with Steve here. Jason had so much emotion. What happened to his brain damage, making him stone cold? I think he's just become more human
And
over the
here's the
years.
thing, is that we can go back and okay, Jason's first nickname was Anger Boy
I never knew that.
because he was always fighting and, anger was the emotion that controlled everything.
Hmm.
And he had to learn to control it. But Jason has always felt deep emotion. He tries to, because his anger got so out of control, it was
Yeah,
controlling all emotion to, until he had, could have breakdown moments. But he's always had them.
agreed. Agreed.
Yeah, Alexis holding Dante's face was really, really, really good. It's just all been so good.
It has been. I did see that some people were giving Kate Manzi some hate for, she wasn't crying or couldn't muster up a tear. You
Yeah,
know,
she can't
I,
cry. She didn't
I
cry with her daughter either. She
I just
doesn't.
I just feel like just that scene where Alexis is hugging both of Molly and
Mhm.
Christina kind of showed the difference in characters between
Yes.
Molly and Christina, where Molly is just more emotional because she's just that
Mhm.
more emotional person where
Yeah.
Christina just isn't that emotional. She's more going off the deep end like Alexis. She's more disbelieving.
Yeah, I think that Christina is the more emotional of the two, actually. I think Molly is much more like Alexis, that she holds things in more and very proper, and
Hmm.
Christina is more like her father, flies off the handle and stuff like that. Um, the Molly actress
Hmm.
blew me away too.
Yeah.
It was her stuff was very, very subtle, but it was really good. And, just as it really became real to her, and she just had this look on her face, and then, Alexis wrapped her arm around her, and she just kind of snuggled into her. Oh God, it was so good. And then of course Christina gave her the stink eye, but then today it was fine. But yeah,
Yeah. I have a feeling this might end up bringing the Davis girls together. We'll see after the funeral what
yeah,
happens. But I really feel like this could potentially bring the Davis sisters back to being on the same page in terms of instead of fighting and you know because theoretically speaking, the last time that they had with Sam, they put themselves
right.
first. While Sam was being like, "Hey, I got to get to the hospital. I'm telling you that I'm doing
Hmm.
this for Lulu, and you're making it about yourselves."
Right.
I want to see them both process that guilt.
Right.
Kristen Vaganos is absolutely fantastic. I'm sorry, Donna, I have to disagree with you on that. Um, Kristen Vaganos is fantastic as Molly.
She's amazing.
Yes.
She really
Um,
is.
yeah, she's amazing. Um, all right. So let's kind of move on a little bit. And I mean that story has taken up the majority of stuff, but
Hmm.
there's still more. Um,
Yes, there is.
After we found out after last week's episode of Cody and Sasha becoming kissing cousins, they had to process through their anger as well
Yeah.
and their feelings towards each other when Sasha and Cody are both sitting down and you know
Hmm.
Cody makes a comment, well, at least we're only kissing cousins, instead of
Yeah.
going all the way. Although in New York it is legal. Um,
Yeah. Right.
so But the fact of the matter is, I feel like this was just perfect because it
Yeah.
shows that they were both upset. And, Cody goes to the bar first. He has to get a drink, he has to get away from everything.
Hmm.
And who walks in? Nothing but Drew and Molly. Drew and Nina, excuse me. Boy, I've got Molly on the brain now. No, Drew and Nina. And Nita comes up with this idea that she wants to have Drew be like the common man, the blue collar. She wants him
Yes.
to be Dusty Rhodes, and blue collar person. So she takes off his jacket and puts him in flannel and jeans.
My favorite thing is when she took off his jacket and he's like, "Now?" Because he thought
Yeah,
she wanted to have sex. That was the best. That made me laugh. I was like, "That's really funny."
yeah.
She's like, "Yes, but no." Yeah.
So they go down to the little hole in the wall bar,
Yep.
and
The brown
you know,
dog. It's the new
yeah.
Jake's.
And they'd run into a fellow Navy SEAL,
Hmm.
and Drew and this guy are shooting the shit, and he's trying to show that he's like the common man,
Hmm.
and instead of the Quartermain, which
Right.
changing his name to Drew Quartermain had the opposite effect of
Right.
what he he was given advice
Right.
for.
Right.
Um, which I'm glad. And then Cody sees him, and Cody goes to confront
Oh,
him.
yeah.
I
Cody was.
loved it. Um,
Hmm.
Cody, being three sheets to the wind,
Hmm.
goes up to the table and says, "Hey, Drew, I gotta talk to you." And he's
Hmm.
like, "Hey, just take a seat, Cody." No, I gotta talk to you alone. Well, I'm in the middle of something. Can I wait? No, we gotta talk now.
Yeah.
So then he's like, "Well, let's go outside. You're drunk." Oh no, we don't have to go outside. I'll say it right here. How
Yep.
dare you? You are making out with Willow, and then
Your
hooking up
nephew's
with her
wife
mother.
while you're hooking up, sleeping with her mother.
Oh
That
yeah,
was beautiful.
it was fantastic.
Oh,
And
so
then
good.
Cody punches Drew in the face, and they get into a scuffle. Um, oh, it was awesome.
And the GH soap Twitter fandom starts to like Cody.
Yes, yep. Cody has
I'm a
that
Drew
major
fan,
face
but I
turn.
loved it too. So
Yeah,
yeah.
nope. Cody had that major face turn. Um, that was akin to the WrestleMania 13, the double turn with Bret Hart becoming the heel, Steve Austin becoming the babyface, and this way Cody's a babyface and Drew's a heel, and then not only that, the PI that Ned hired You know, the lady with the dog from the Metro Court that was originally set to spy on Carly is now spying on Drew and has the whole thing on video, and then
Yep.
sends the video to Ned.
Yep. Yep.
I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was great. I really did. And then Ned and Tracy were so excited.
Yes. Oh, they were.
Oh, they were
That was a true
so
court
excited.
meeting.
Yes. And then they think they're gonna blackmail. Oh god. And Nina going to Willow. I gave you bad advice not to tell Michael this is not good. Oh my god.
Oh, it was fantastic. By the way, guys, I need to apologize for my voice. I am just getting over pneumonia, so I've been, or
Oh,
what the doctor thought was pneumonia, is a viral lung infection. So my voice is a little crackly because I've been coughing a lot, but so I do need to apologize for that. But I wasn't going to miss this because we had a lot to talk
so
about.
good.
Yeah, no,
And
absolutely.
I'll tell you, I could tell that sweeps kickoff was good because we had a Zoom Friday night dedicated to sweeps.
Yep.
And the plan was to do it from like 9 to 11-ish,
Hmm.
maybe 12 on Friday night.
Yep.
It was open and hop until probably a little after 2.
Oh, wow.
It was
Congratulations.
crazy. It was so good. So much
Congratulations.
conversation. Everybody is really pumped and yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, there's I just love it so much.
Oh, absolutely.
So excited. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to move on. I do have to say, though, I have to give props to Portia. I'm not a huge Portia fan right now, but when Alexis was in the room with Sam, with Sam's body, and coming in and saying, "Oh my God, she just came out of surgery. She's cold. Get a blanket," and Portia's like, "Alexis, no, get a blanket. Get a motherfucking blanket." I know that's what she wanted to say, but Portia's like, "Okay, I'll get it for you." So I have to give her props on that because she
Yeah.
understood the grieving process that Alexis was going through.
The hospital staff were great. I mean, Liz was great. The hug between Alexis and Liz was really, really sweet.
Hmm.
And Portia, being very calm and professional. I mean, poor Lucas. Oh my
Oh
God,
God,
poor Lucas. Um, but yeah, so that was
yeah, I felt
so
so
good.
bad for Lucas because when they were coming out of the room and Alexis was like, "What's going on? Please, somebody tell me." And Lucas
Mhm.
just like, "Sam's dead," and
Yeah,
that's it. And he just walked off.
yeah.
Oh God, just
It was
that
just
broke my heart.
oh God, and him not wanting to stop working on her,
Yeah,
but then finally calling it time of death.
yeah,
Hashtag 548.
yeah. It was just so disheartening. Um, but yeah, Liz did have head nurses vibes that day.
Mm.
I feel like this sweeps week has been the best sweeps week in a long time.
I
Um,
think this week's gonna top it.
yeah, I agree. We're going to be
Mhm.
getting into a lot of stuff.
Yep.
The fact that Sasha is Robert and Holly's daughter came with a little bit of a few strings attached, and
Yeah.
we'll see that going forward. No, we won't get into that today. That'll be next week.
Yes.
Um, I will say that we did have a little bit of lightheartedness um,
Mhm.
on Friday during the Halloween episode when Maxie
Mhm.
and Spinelli were talking,
Yeah.
and James there's Woody, um,
Yeah.
and then Georgie comes out and doesn't want to get dressed, and
Yep.
they have the talk about how Maxie's sister Georgie wanted to keep the fun alive, and
And
eventually
I
Georgie comes
loved
around.
that nod to history because Georgie actually on screen loved Halloween. One thing that was weird is Halloween's Maxie's birthday.
Yeah, a lot of people.
So that was a little weird, but whatever. It
Yeah,
was yeah.
a lot of
And
people say
then
Maxie never gets her birthday party.
yeah.
Um,
And then
and then
Georgie's costume.
Georgie Xenon Warrior Princess or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Um,
Xenon.
yeah, which Kirsten Storms was that
Kirsten Storms played. And it was so funny because they had Spinelli know exactly who she was, and
Yeah,
Maxie's like, She's
Yeah,
like, "Xenon." She's like, that
yeah.
was
Girl of the 21st century, my wife told me.
chef's kiss.
Yeah,
Chef's kiss,
which is
no
a Disney
notes,
property, so it
perfection.
works. Um,
Mhm.
I want to thank the 176 people that are currently watching. Thank you
Ooh.
so much, and it's growing. Go ahead again, like I said, like the video, subscribe, get notified. If you're watching on Facebook, definitely give a couple of reactions. If you're watching on Twix, definitely like it and share it. And if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and like it, subscribe, get notified.
Um,
Um,
Steve had a question in the chat. He says, "Why was Lucas alone? What happened to Lucky's friend, the co-surgeon?" Well, while Lucas was alone, while Sam was dying, Isaiah was still in surgery with Lulu because her
yeah,
surgery took longer.
yes,
They didn't find out that Lulu's surgery was fine until after they found out that Sam was dead.
yeah,
So, yeah,
um,
no, Isaiah was still in surgery with Lulu
yeah.
when Lucas
Um,
was dealing with that.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Because they didn't find out that Lulu surgery was a success until later on.
mhm. Right.
Because when Laura came in and when
Yes.
she's Alexis just dumbfounded and everything. She's like, "Is it Lulu?"
Yeah.
Which again
Yeah.
would be her first reaction.
Absolutely. The scenes between Laura and Alexis when they were sitting side by side were very powerful too.
They were.
Laura's like trying to comfort her, and those were very, very powerful, and Laura saying that it wasn't fair, and Alexis, "No, it's not." And that was really, really powerful. It really was, because there's almost a resentment coming off Alexis, which is understandable.
Right.
And Laura understands it, but, I mean, Laura's not gonna say, "I wish it was my daughter and not your," I
Of
mean,
course. Yeah.
it's such a tough situation. It was oh god, masterclass in acting.
Oh yeah.
So
Absolutely.
much. And Donna's
Uh,
asking where the hell Olivia is. Well, she's going to be on this week with them, but you got to remember too, this is all within a couple hours.
yeah, it is. So it's like
We're still, yeah, this has all happened during trick or treating.
yeah. So we're still on Halloween.
Right.
So,
Because, yeah,
and
and
it might be
tomorrow
the
it
middle of the night at
continues
this
to
point.
Halloween. Right.
Yeah,
And possibly I think the next day as well.
yeah, because
Because, yeah, I'm pretty sure Wednesday is
number
the same
two,
day as well.
yeah,
Um,
agreed,
and it could be the whole week. It was last week.
right,
But yeah, because I mean, at the end of today, Maxie and Spinelli's kids were done trick or treating.
right.
So we're still all in the same couple
We're
of
still about
hours.
9 p.m. that night. So
Right,
literally
exactly.
between Friday and between like Thursday and today has been, let's say, 4 or 5 hours.
At most.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So,
and Jason going over to Spinelli and Maxie today
yeah,
and letting them know about Sam.
yep.
It's like I really, I really like the idea of Jason having to be the one to deliver this news. It had to be because Alexis is in
Right.
no position for it.
Absolutely not.
Dante's in no position for
Right.
it. Jason has to be the one to,
Mhm.
you know, to do it.
And he's the one who has the relationship with Spinelli as well.
Yeah,
And also, Maxie, as well. So he was the right choice.
agreed. Yeah,
And it's hard. I mean, it's hard when somebody dies and you have so many people to tell while also comforting people, you know what I mean?
yep,
Which is at the end of today, when Danny ran into his arms, he, mouthed thank you to Carly for
yeah. For
helping.
talking to Danny.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was
because
that
he
was a
had to
great
go do that.
conversation as well.
Yeah.
Donna asks, why didn't Cody ask Drew to pony up enough money for Serenity? I think he asked for the down payment, maybe.
Yeah, he did ask for the down payment.
That was
And
the amount of
I
money for the
mean,
down
yeah,
payment.
I mean, well, he wanted 100,000, but Drew gave
Yeah,
him 50,000. So, yeah, so he did ask for the down payment, but yeah.
amazingly, it just, I'm in. I really dislike Drew. Like, I'm at the point now, like, I I don't know what it is. And Cameron Matheson is fantastic as an actor, and he's portraying this guy like a real politician, a real sleazeball, you
Mm-hmm.
know, um, and now he's kind of thrust into the back into the dad role, and I don't think
Mm-hmm.
he knows how to separate the two at this point.
Right.
Um,
Well, I think that it's going to be interesting because, there's still this thing with Willow, but Nina's the one he's really falling for.
yeah,
So I think that him and Nina are going to be the ones who end up together.
hmm
Drew is just the way to bust up the Millow marriage because, you know, you can't just stay happily married forever at that age on a soap
Well,
opera.
Michael and Sasha,
Yes,
they're
they did.
after. So
Okay.
after the whole thing where Cody beats up Drew, and you know it's caught on video. Drew gets home with a busted lip, and Ned and Ned and Tracy are in the living room and been like, "Hey, you all
Yeah.
right?" Um, and I I love how I love how much of a politician Drew is in this moment because he gets ahead of the whole thing. Because Ned wants
Hmm.
him to, you know, Ned wants Drew to let him run all of the
Right.
LQ, and he doesn't care
Yeah.
about the political shit. He's like, I want,
You'll vote with me in every ELQ thing. And Drew's
yeah,
just like, the fuck, I will.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was really great.
Uh,
Michael comes in, just as Willow comes
yeah, because Willow comes in and
in.
Nina comes in and Michael comes in, and then all of a sudden, you
Hmm.
know, Drew gets ahead of everything and says, "Hey, Michael, I got to tell you something. On the 4th of July, Willow and I kissed."
Yeah.
And so Michael's taken by shock.
Mhm.
Ned and Tracy see their blackmail go away
Yeah.
right out the window, and Michael storms out of the room.
Yeah. I loved it. I
Yeah.
really did. And then him and Sasha, I loved it. And I loved how they woke up together and then they did the flashbacks to how it happened.
Yep. That
And then
was
he goes
good storytelling.
and then he goes home
Hmm.
and Willow lies right to his face and
Yep.
he knows that. So he doesn't tell her about Sasha and then they have sex and I can't tell you, Vinny, I am really hoping that what Michael is hearing on that baby monitor app this week is Drew and Willow having sex. Because
Oh,
I want Sasha to end up pregnant. I want Willow to end up pregnant, but it to be a who is the daddy. I want mess. I want mess, mess, mess.
because that's what you watch soaps for. You watch
Yes.
soap for the messiness because it's not
Yeah,
real.
exactly. Our soap is soaping. This is not the Hallmark Channel, and it's certainly not Great American, whatever that hell
Great American, yeah,
is.
Great
You
American
know,
Television.
no. Um, Steve asked, "Will Tracy be pissed that Cody took the money?" I don't think so because at the end of this week, Tracy and Cody are strategizing.
Yeah,
So
so I think that'll be good
yeah.
for Cody to
Hmm.
finally put the down payment on Serenity.
Yep.
Give him something to do. Um, and then jail wit 1010 says, "Is it just me or does Georgie look like the original Georgie?"
She
That was
really does.
that was a really good
Hmm.
casting.
Hmm. David said
Um,
he's having fun not liking Drew. And that's one of the great things, love to hate characters are a soap staple.
yeah, you have to. You
Yeah.
have to have them.
Hmm.
And it's like I know there's so much Drew hate out there, and there had been for a long time.
It's since there's been Drew hate since he set his sights on Carly.
But you know what? There's it seems like anybody except for Jason sets their sights on Carly to get hated.
Oh
Whether
God.
it's Drew, whether it's Jax, whether it's Franco,
Yeah.
whether it's well, the only one
Well,
that's not is Brennan.
well,
Brennan's not
even
getting
he no, he gets hate too for it. He gets hate too for it. They've bashed him for it too. Here's the thing. You know what I say? They hate her because their girl ain't her. So.
It's true. That's very true. All right.
Mhm.
What else do we get into this week? I think we talked a lot of.
Lucky and Laura had that really good
Oh yeah.
conversation too.
Yep.
There's so much.
There is. Um, and Anne says I love Natalia, but she seems to have fallen off a cliff. Yeah, we haven't seen Natalia. Sonny's uh,
Mhm.
been taken up with a lot of other more important things lately. There's been no
Yeah.
deception, so there's been no Lucy. Um,
And again, this has only been, all last week was like 2 days.
yeah,
Most of it was 1 day. So, they're doing a very slow move forward in time. So, yeah. Um, yeah, the Lucky and Laura conversation was really good. I liked that.
mhm,
And last Monday, we didn't touch on the Laura and Anna with Charlotte thing.
you're right. We didn't. We
Anna's
forgot.
promising to bring Charlotte home.
Yes,
And I thought a few things were funny about how that all played out. Because Anna went to Jason.
yes,
Now, earlier that day, it had been Sunny and Holly and Jason.
yep,
And Sunny insisted on Holly giving him the rest of the diamonds, and she took the one. And then he gave them to Jason to stay safe. Now, the week before, Jason had told Brennan about the diamonds,
yes,
but he hasn't told Holly.
right.
And when Spinelli walked in and saw Anna and then was like, I think I left my headlights on. Jason puts his arm on top of him. That was hysterical.
It was.
And then we had Anna saying to wanted Spinelli's help, wanted the jackal
Hmm.
because she thinks Brennan is lying and she wants them to try to, hack into Brennan, yada, yada. Now, I thought it was very interesting that, both Jason and Anna have commented before that Brennan has the thing for Carly, so to get him to do something is to go through Carly.
Right.
And neither of them are bringing Carly into this and saying, "Hey, can you talk to Brennan?"
Yeah,
Which
that
was
doesn't make
really
sense.
interesting. Instead, they're going to have Jackal commit, federal
Yeah,
crimes. And then, she says to Spinelli, "Jason trusts you with his life, and I trust him with mine." And then they
yeah,
pan into the bag of diamonds on the table.
right. That's a brain
Yeah,
teaser for you.
yeah. But it's just so funny because he had already told Brennan, so why not tell Anna?
Yeah,
So he chose Carly over Sunny to tell Brennan, but then chose Sunny over Anna in not telling her.
right.
So yeah, Jason, he's just a mess.
Yeah, but those diamonds are going to come into play this week.
Oh,
In a
yes,
big
they
way.
are. Big
In a
way.
big way. We
Oh,
also
I'm
didn't
so
touch on
excited.
last week. We also didn't touch on Jophia Love, Violet leaving,
Hmm.
and the scene
Yes.
with Tracy with the tea set and saying, because Tracy gave Violet um, Lila's tea set and said you can
Yes.
take it with you, and Violet's like, I'm not gonna take the whole thing.
I'm
I'm gonna
gonna
leave
leave
you one
one.
so we can have our tea parties over Zoom.
Yeah.
And oh my god, that broke my heart. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but just the way that scene was,
Yeah.
um,
It
and
was really, really sweet.
how Violet said, "I'm gonna leave, my stuffed animal behind for Brooklyn and Chase's baby
Hmm.
because they're gonna want it." And again, I'm gonna miss that little girl because I think she was fantastic with
Hmm.
just her acting and her singing. But it's like they didn't want to kill her off. They didn't want to kill Finn off. So, Finn's not coming back to he's in
Hmm.
Portland. And I like how, because Portland seems to be the place where all the West Coast castaways go. Because Ellie and Griffin are out there as far as we know.
Hmm.
So, you know, the
Yep.
girls from Pier 54 said, "Why don't we have a spinoff, GH West?"
Right. Yeah. Send Sunny.
Yeah,
Anyway, yeah. I keep the eye on the prize always. Always.
Yep.
Um, yeah, and they, that also leaves the door open for her to come visit Uncle
Agreed.
Chase and Aunt Brooklyn too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That makes
and
sense.
Tracy.
Because
Yeah.
she'll be back at some point to say hi.
Mhm.
Um, okay. So let's see. What else did we have to go over? Um, let's see. We haven't seen much. We haven't seen anything of Dex this week. We haven't seen anything of. Okay, so one thing I do have to get off my chest is the people complaining that Sam's death, the episodes of Sam's death had other storylines in them, where people were saying, "Why are we seeing the Drew and Michael problem on the same day that Sam dies?"
Because it's not an after school special. It's not a very special episode of General Hospital. It's
Right?
it's an ensemble show with multiple storylines, and every day there are multiple storylines unless there's a cast-wide event, which this is not.
No. Wait till the funeral. That'll be cast wide. Um,
Actually, it won't because I mean, there are a lot of people who won't go to the funeral that have
yeah,
nothing to do with him, and that's okay,
yeah, you're probably right.
you
Um,
know?
but and I'm glad that Lulu made it through, and
Mhm.
I'm glad that she hasn't woken up automatically
Right.
from the. It's like because coma patients don't just wake up because they had surgery.
Right.
Like, you know, that I think was not explained until the very end. By
Mhm.
Terry to say
Right.
that that
Yeah.
doesn't mean she's gonna wake up.
Right.
Okay. Um, I
She
think
is filming though. The actress
yeah,
has been filming,
yep,
and so I'm assuming we see her at some point during sweeps.
yeah. So she should be getting back
Yeah.
pretty soon. I want to thank the 188 people watching right now. Go ahead and like this episode wherever you're watching. Like it, subscribe, get notified. Remember, we are on our YouTube page, youtube.com/at suds-media. You follow on Twix at suds-media as well. We are, or I'm sorry, Suds Media on Twix. But either way, I want to thank you all for watching. Do we have anything else to go over?
I don't know, I kinda think that we did it all because so much
Yeah,
of it was Sam's death.
exactly.
So,
Um,
next week, I think we're gonna have problems the next couple weeks. We're gonna be, here for, like, 3 hours going, "But what about this? And what about this? And what
yeah,
about
you're
that?"
probably right. Um, we do
And I'm
have
okay
one
with
other
that.
question. Julia sends up, what about the Heather storyline? Do you think she's going to kidnap Ace? She's no longer on set. She's no longer
Right. I don't think she's gone forever. I think
right.
Heather will pop back up maybe for February sweeps, maybe for May next year. I think we won't see her again until next year. I think she'll show back up after she gets her settlement.
Yes.
They have a lot of storylines going on right now. So, it was a good way to put that one to the side realistically. You know what I mean? For what the storyline they were telling with her. That was a good way
Yeah, and the
put
way
it,
she
and
said
they
she'll be back.
definitely left the door open with her saying to Ace, "I'll be back."
Yeah.
So, yeah, we haven't seen the last of Heather. I just don't, we won't see. I don't think we'll see her this year.
Yeah. No, she won't be back until
Yeah,
next year. She's gotta go out to Arizona for a while and
yeah,
and and
and it'll
break
probably
these
be a
walls.
sweeps event, and I have no
Oh yeah.
doubt she'll kidnap Ace.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Once she gets her money and is able to
Mhm.
hopefully that brings Nicholas back.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Well, Adam Haas is done filming his show, this first
Yep.
season of his show. So let's go, Frank. Let's go.
Yes. Yes. Uh, and so hopefully Nicholas is back sooner rather than later. Let's see. I believe we've kind of gone over just about everything. Um, yeah, we have gone over pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I want to thank y'all for watching. Again, go ahead and mark your calendars for Saturday, November 16th until Sunday, November 17th from 12 noon to 12 noon. we will be embarking on a 24-hour telethon on these same networks that you're watching this right now. Um, we'll be doing a 24-hour charity telethon to benefit the organization Samantha's Friends, who specializes in rehoming service animals
Mhm,
when their, you know, parents have to go, whether it's go back to war or go into hospital or
mhm.
whatever may happen. It's a great organization. Many soap stars support the organization, um, and we're going to be benefiting them. We do
Mhm.
have a lot of podcasters that are going to be helping out.
Yep,
Um,
it's
Obviously,
gonna be
Angela's
fun.
going to be helping out. Kim's going to be helping out. Um, we did get word that Donald Peebles is going to be coming on for a little while. Flobo
Mhm,
Boyce and I are going to be pre-recording a segment to talk.
mhm.
Um, so we've also got a couple other irons in the fire that we'll go ahead and announce probably by next week once we get everything else settled. So go ahead and keep that um, on your calendar. And
Mhm.
you're right. We haven't seen Leo in quite a while. And last year, Leo was Einstein for Halloween. I thought that was kind of cute. Um,
Mhm.
but Leo just hasn't been there. Like Olivia hasn't been there that much either.
Right,
So Ned is more focused on the LQ, so he's not really being that
right,
much of a father. Although last year they did spend a little bit more time on Halloween, but this year was more about Sam's death than anything.
right. And I mean, a lot of the times we're to assume also that they spend a lot of their time with the children off screen.
Right.
Children on soap operas are props. They're
Yeah.
accessories. They are put away in the closet or sent to boarding school or taken care of by the nanny or something. In the
Exactly.
attic looking for their skis, something. And they're
Yeah.
taken out when they're needed, like all
Exactly.
props.
No, you're absolutely right. Um, all right. So again, those of you that are watching, thank you so much. Follow us on all of our socials. Um, and if you are a WWE fan, go over to suds-media.com/wrestling merch. We are an official WWE shop affiliate, which is a Fanatics experience. I've spent a lot of money myself there all the time on WWE merchandise. And if you do, you get to help us out. If you want to buy our merch for Suds and Squared Circle Media, go over to Suds Squared Circle, sudsquarecircle.threadless.com or suds-media.com/merch. And that'll bring you right to our shop on Threadless. And Angela, you want to go ahead and give out your socials and your information?
I do. You can find me on Twitter at Brooklyn74 and at pettyprado.com, my website, and of course my Buy Me a Coffee. And I just launched it, and I have some fun merch, and I have some fun membership levels and stuff like that. And I'm going to be doing a lot more of the paid Zooms like JLJ does, and the first one was such a success. And yeah, so I'm around. You can
Yeah,
find
I'm
me.
about to start doing some paid Zooms as well, focusing on both soaps and wrestling. So
Mhm.
once I'm able to find some time, I'll be able to do that
Yes.
as well.
As my sisters say, I'm rich with time. They say, "You're
uh,
rich with time." And I am. They're right.
well, I am not, unfortunately. But again, I do want to do want to again push the fact that tomorrow is election day. So if you've not voted and you are in the United States, get out and vote. We will not, as a show, endorse either one of the political candidates out there because everybody personally has their own favorites.
Yes.
Um, but either way, if you don't go vote, you can't complain when stuff doesn't go your way. Um,
Decisions are made by those who show up.
exactly.
And if your vote didn't matter, there wouldn't be anybody trying to stop it.
Exactly.
Your
Yes.
vote matters. Period. End of story. You need to voice. And it's not just the candidates. Most states have ballot measures and things like that that are, you know,
Exactly.
and
No, you're
school
right.
board and, city councils and stuff like that. You got to vote every election. Let's go.
Yeah. Make sure and get your vote. Get your
Mhm.
vote.
I early voted. I dropped my ballot off in there's a ballot box inside the lobby of our police department, so there's no tomfoolery. I dropped mine and my aunt's ballot off, and our voices were heard.
I will make sure to vote tomorrow morning, right on election day. Connecticut started their early voting this year for the first time.
Mhm.
I personally don't trust it. That's why I'm going on election day.
Oh, I
So
love early voting. My daughter's going this my daughter the my college age, this is her first presidential. So
mhm.
she wants to go
My
in
son,
person. She voted the midterms
yeah.
by mail-in, but although we drop them off, we don't actually put them in the mail, but,
Vinnie,
um
congratulations. First time voter here is 62. Congratulations. Thank
wow,
you so much
good.
for voting. Um, my
Mhm,
son, it was his first time voting as well, being 19 years old first, so his first
mhm,
federal election. And I don't think he chose to vote last year, but
yeah.
this year it is his first time voting as well. So
And my daughter and her friends, 15 of them are having a sleepover at her house tomorrow night to watch the election results come in.
good luck, because we're
It's
not going to find out a winner for the next 2 weeks. Um, so
we'll see. Alright.
all right. So, um, for Angela, I'm Vinny. Thank you so much for tuning in. 190 people watching. Uh, Go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, get notified, and go ahead and follow anybody. All of the feeds on here. Follow us on our socials. We'll be back next Monday night, right here, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, for Suds News. Have a great night, everybody.